What's going on, people? Welcome to Premzy TV. Make sure you're smashing a like on the video, subscribe if you're new people. And the first game of the season is out the way. Arsenal have won 2-1 against Nottingham Forest. And we're going to touch on the game. We're going to dive into it. But also, I want to get your thoughts on the game as well. So the link is actually pinned in the chat as well. If you do fancy giving your thoughts and opinions on the game or how you seen it panned out, make sure you click on there. Come and join me. We'll have a little bit of a chat. If there's other people waiting, we'll obviously have to keep it short and sweet and then bring other people in. But look, let's touch on it straight away. The starting lineup, I was quite surprised with the team that Arteta went with, because we know Gabriel and Saliba have been ever present at the centre-back pairing for Arsenal. And he opted to keep Gabriel on the bench, and it was quite baffling, to be honest. Thomas Partey, we've seen towards the back end of the season last year that he got deployed as a right back. I didn't expect him to come in, start the season as a right back. We've seen him inverting into the middle of the park. Yuri and Timber out on the left, and also Ben White was pushed over into the middle. Saliba out as a left-sided centre back. So there was a little bit of a change there. We've seen Havertz start in midfield as well, which might be a surprise to some people, as people might have thought that he could have been starting up front ahead of Eddie Nketiah due to the Community Shield. But let's touch on it, man. I'm telling you, even though we won, and that was the most important thing, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit disappointed. A lot of possession, but not enough created for me. When we've got teams by the neck, you got to go there and squeeze the fucking life out of him. You get me? To make a statement early on in the campaign, make a statement. We see Man City yesterday go and win 3-0. We needed to do that. We're at home, for God's sake. I don't know whether, all the kerfuffle at the start of the game kind of had a bit of an impact on the players and the fans, but I don't think it should have, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? I think Arsenal, they need to sort that out real quick, real fast, in order to let the fans in the ground. It's become a problem now, not even just this first game of this season, but going back to last season, we were struggling to get into games. You know what I mean? You're queuing up for ages. The turnstiles are very slow. The person that's at the gate as well, if they're having a problem with the ticket, they're just standing there taking ages, not letting other people in. The only way you're getting in quickly is if you're club level or you got a bag with you. So they need to sort that out. But the game, I think for the first 23 minutes or so, we were very flat, in my opinion. We had the ball, a lot of possession, couldn't really get in behind, and we weren't creating too many chances. And to be honest, I think it was Johnson from Nottingham Forest. He had the best chance of the game, to be there. He 1-on-1 against Ramsdale. I think he just lost a little bit of composure, and he just put the ball high, wide and handsome. You get me? It was a mad thing. But most important of all, Eddie Nketiah, 25th minutes in, got the goal, calmed the nerves down of the players, and allowed us to play with a little bit more freedom. But you know what? I'm going to give Eddie Nketiah some credit now, because I've been a big doubter of Eddie Nketiah. Even still, he came in last season, replaced Gabriel Jesus, and he did well. But for me, it was the longevity. Could he do that for a longer period of time? We know when he starts games, he normally plays pretty well. But when he's coming off the bench, you don't really see that kind of impact with Eddie Nketiah. So it's good that he's got his opportunity. At the end of the day, Gabriel Jesus is out injured. If you got him in the team and you've paid him 100 bags a week, you give him the number 14 shirt, have some faith in him, innit? That's what I'm saying. Have some faith in the lad. Play him. Happy days. I'd rather have him in that position than have Havertz. And another thing that's quite pissing me off at the moment is the facilitation Arteta's having to do with the team, to put Havertz in there. Put him on the bench, bring him on, because we've seen in pre-season, Trossard played in the midfield as well, alongside Martin Odegaard, and it worked a treat. If something works good, why not go with it? That's how I see it, because I think Havertz today, very limited to anything good. He didn't really create anything, got himself into some decent positions, but nothing materialised. It was a very strange lineup for me. Very, very strange. I don't know whether Gabriel's injured or might be sick, or there's a reason for him not to start. But it's a bit of a mad thing. But I got no words to say about the Saka goal. I'll be honest with you. I got no words. What a fucking fantastic finish from Bukayo Saka, and we know what this guy is capable of. This is the season for him now to go and push on to new heights, to go out there and show everyone, look, I'm at this world level now. I want to see it in the Champions League. I want to see it week in, week out in the Premier League. And did he take his goal? Absolutely well. Did he take his goal fantastically well? Put it in the top corner, outside the box, on his left foot. Matt Turner, he had no chance. He had absolutely no chance. And as well, I want to big up Martinelli as well, because that assist for Nketiah, that turn, that just shows you what this kid's all about. It's so exciting now to see that we've got a young crop of players that are potentially reaching that world level. You get me? I think it's a bit too early to say world class now, but they've got that ceiling to definitely go up there and challenge people. Like I said, as I put the link in the description, also pinned it to the chat. So if any of you do want to jump in and give your thoughts in and around the game, you're more than welcome. But look, it started to get nervy towards the end. We had a corner. It looked like Havertz got bopped in his face or something. He went down, lapse of concentration, and Nottingham Forest went up the other side and ended up scoring a goal. So it is disappointing we conceded. I'll be totally honest. I wanted to keep a clean sheet. You know, at the end of the season, clean sheets matter, goal difference matter. We have to be keeping clean sheets. And at home, we need to be absolutely annihilating teams like Nottingham Forest. Last season, I think we done in 5. This season, yeah, it's the first game. Everyone's up for it. But we had total control of that game. A lapse of concentration, they go up and score. Then they find some newfound belief to try to bring on some big bodies like Chris Wood, etc., and try to push for an equaliser. This is where you can start slipping up. This is where it might be a situation where you've done exceptionally well all game, kept the ball, played good football, created a few opportunities, scored a few goals. But if you don't kill teams off, it's not over till the fat lady sings. And we see now this season, they're giving some mad extra minutes at the end of the game. We've seen in the Community Shield, it was like 10 minutes extra. Today, it was 7. Half time, 5 minutes. You got to be able to stay on game all the way through. I will get to some of your comments as well in a moment. Timber, what I touch on, he looks fantastic. You know, he's playing out of his favoured position at left back, and he's doing what's asked for him. You've seen him inverting at times. You see him pushing forward and giving Martinelli that support at times. Defensively, he's sound, but it's so unfortunate that he looks like he's come off with a bad injury. We're going to need to wait and see how it pans out, but the injury doesn't look good at all. You get me? It looks like it's something to do with the back of his knee, and it's a bit madness. I'm going to get a few of these comments in before I can see Wilson in the background waiting. I will bring you in a minute, my brother. Just get a few of these comments in. Juju says we made statements early last season where that took us. I think he's going to say, look where that took us. We need to receive energy, 100%. Rich says, big up Premzy, big up yourself, my bro. Hope you're doing well. I feel as we're not the unknown quantity as the start of last season, we'll find it a little harder this time round. I'll take the result. Come on, you gunners. 100% will take the result. 110. I've said that at the start of this campaign. I think it's going to be a lot difficult for us to kind of emulate what we've done last season, even though we strengthened. But we're going to have to go with it. As long as we get the 3 points, that's the most important thing. Arsenal declined when Timber got off the pitch. I totally agree with that. There's quite a few comments on Timber. Timber is more attacking defender. When he went off, the game did change. 100. Let's bring Wilson in.
How you doing?
Yes, broski. How you doing? You okay?
I'm good. I gotta say, I would say for 70 minutes of the game, I felt Arsenal were brilliant for 70 minutes. In the first half in particular, Martinelli's work rate was immense. Every time that Forest went past Martinelli, I noticed that Martinelli just ran back, got the ball. His work rate was immense. In particularly in the first half, Eddie scored a great goal, and then Saka, Jesus Christ, that was just a fantastic strike. There was no chance on earth that anybody would say that. That has to be one of the best goals of this weekend. It was a fantastic goal, and Saka's performance overall, offensively and defensively, were immense. Absolutely immense. In terms of Timber, he played well, to be fair. It's just unfortunately he got injured. It's not only about injury that affected us. I felt Nottingham Forest's substitutions as well. That changed the game a little bit slightly as
Yeah.
well. Um,
I
I
want to
mean,
get your thoughts though, Wilson. I want to get your thoughts on Havertz's debut and also Declan Rice. What you seen from Declan Rice?
in terms of Declan Rice, I thought he played very well. He did his part for the team. He controlled the midfield for most of the game. If I'm honest with you, he played very well. And I've noticed that Declan Rice is getting better. He's getting into the box a bit more. He's trying to shoot a bit more. So it is very encouraging to see. In terms of Havertz, even though I'm not his biggest fan, however, I felt Havertz was all right. I thought Havertz was not bad at all. I mean, he was good. He was good, but it would have been nice if he scored a goal though.
For
Just
me,
a
though,
couple.
65 million, though, Wilson, like
It's
you've
a
got to
lot
be
of
showing
money,
me fucking something, you know what I mean? And
but
for me,
I get it. I get it. I mean, for 65 million, it's a lot of money. I think this signing is probably on Arteta, and Arteta and Havertz have got to make sure this works. They
mm.
got to make sure it works.
Was you kind of surprised with how the starting lineup was?
I was surprised because I was very surprised, not just the lineup but the formation as well. I was shocked, and then the moment I saw Partey at right back, and I was like, what on earth is going on? And then
Mm,
I saw Havertz and Odegaard playing together, and then I was shocked. I didn't expect that, and I
mm,
thought, what is Arteta doing? What is he thinking, man? Then I was thinking, okay, I think the only reason he played like Odegaard and Havertz together, maybe it's because like when teams like Forest, etc., like small teams like Forest and other teams come to the Emirates, they're likely to sit back. Maybe
mm,
Arteta's thinking there is to play more attacking, maybe. That's
mm.
probably why. Um, that's all I can think of, really. But
Were you surprised that Trossard didn't get an opportunity to play and start?
I was surprised. I thought Trossard was going to start based on his
Mm,
performances in pre-season. He's
mm,
done very well. It's not just pre-season, but last season as well. I thought Trossard deserved a start, to be honest with you. It's not just his goals, his performances were immense.
mm,
Bit surprised, but to be fair, for 70 minutes of the game, we were good. It's just in the last 20 minutes we were hanging on.
mm.
And
Started to look like the old Arsenal creeps in a little bit. The nerves started to come into
yeah,
play, but
I
I
knew.
must say there was a better response after the goal. We didn't just sit back and yeah, we brought Gabriel on, which I think was a good decision. We then put Partey back into the middle, Ben White back out to the right. So it kind of gave us that natural balance that we do normally have. And you could see that we did go on eventually to make a few more chances. What a run from Leandro Trossard, by the way. He knocked the
Oh,
ball.
great
Just
run.
showed you he's got a bit of pace in his locker as well. And I think he's going to be very hungry this year as well to show what he can do, because with Gabriel Jesus now being out injured,
Mm,
there's an opening there, and you got to give Eddie Nketiah massive credit today. He stepped in and he took his opportunity well, because I
so,
thought not only did he score a good goal, brilliant assist by Martinelli, by the way, but
absolutely.
his effort off the ball was second to none, really. He was running
I
back, he
agree.
was putting the tackles in, he was kind of giving us what Gabriel Jesus does. And when Jesus got injured last season, we kind of seen that from Eddie Nketiah, and I think the fans started to warm from it. There's a comment in here saying the boys got tired. You know what? I think that was pretty much evident. You could see towards the back
Yeah,
end of the game we were
I think it
pretty
was
tired.
evident. I think it was evident. I feel like, I mean, the only thing that Arsenal need to do is just be a little bit more ruthless. In the
Mm,
second half, we had chances as well. We need to be ruthless. That's the only thing in my head that Arsenal need to do going forward. But the bottom line is, Premzy, and you will know this as much as I do, as every other Arsenal fan does, is that the most important thing is we got the 3 points. We won
mm,
the game. That's the most important thing. There are things that we're doing to improve, but the fact is we won the game. That's the most important thing. And imagine if Arteta got like an attacking player on, then we concede a goal. Oh, there'll be absolute uproar. But I can't
yeah.
complain because Arteta made the right decisions at the right time, because we needed that solidity. We needed that what's it called? We needed
Solidity.
exactly that, and he did the right thing
But
there. And
I tell you something though, Wilson. If this game didn't go our way, there would have been some serious questions asked about that
Oh yeah,
starting lineup. I tell you that now because my consensus from looking all over social media, other people's reactions and stuff like that, people were quite bombarded of the starting lineup. And when I was looking at it, I was thinking, ooh, I don't know what's going on here. This is looking a little bit thingy. But as the game progressed, you could see, like you said, he wanted to go a little bit more attacking. Party was going into midfield a lot more. And he was kind of having a back three, and even then, Timber was pushing on, and like Sleeper sometimes was left as the one centre back while Ben White was pushing on. So you can see that I think Arteta intended them to come and sit back, and that's why he played like that. But sometimes this is the Premier League; you've got to show respect to every opponent because, as we've
exactly.
seen, you can get beat by anyone. It could come to the last stages of the minute, like they did. They scored 2-1, gets very shaky, long ball in the box. It can easily be 2-2. And towards the back end of the season, you will look back and reflect on that, just like we did last season. And I just want to touch on this comment from Clock Orange. He says, we're the same old Arsenal from last season. We need to put the knives through them. And I think that's a massive, massive comment because I was saying this just
Oh,
before you come on,
I
bro.
can't deny that.
We need to be absolutely putting them to bed. I want to see Arsenal this season because I honestly believe it's going to be tougher for us this season than it was last, even though we have strengthened and we have brought players like Declan Rice in. I think last season there was no expectation on us. And
Now
when the
there is.
pressure's off, you can play. I want to see how we deal with this expectation because you're remembering it's still a very young squad. Can they cope with that expectation? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Do you reckon we could cope with that expectation?
Um, I believe we can. I believe we can cope with that expectation. However, I've been banging on this drum for quite a while now. I said this before and I say it again. I still feel like, don't get me wrong, I still feel we need like another right-sided winger to add a bit more competition and
Mm,
depth for Saka because we know this. There's no way on earth that Saka can be playing every single game. It's just
mm,
not gonna happen because if Saka plays every game again, he's gonna be burnt out completely. When
mm,
Saka needs someone to give him a rest to help him out, and two, we still need probably, I would say, another striker as well. Not only
mm,
because of the injury and everything, we need like that proper number 9. But the question is, who can we get? That's another question as well. And we might need just one more midfielder, just one
yeah.
more midfielder, just to add a little bit more depth to that midfield position. If we get, I'd say, most of those positions filled in, we can cope with that expectation because we know this Premzy. We are in Champions League. We are no longer in the Europa League no more. We've got
Mm.
Champions League. That's the biggest competition you could ever be in. We've got the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and my expectations for this season is the challenge for the league. I expect us to be up there again. In the Champions League, I expect us to be at least, I'll say minimum of quarterfinals. The team we've got, we should be at quarterfinals, minimum. In terms of Carabao, oh yeah, I'm serious, man.
You know what? I agree with you with the positions that we need. I just want to say, people that are locked in, remember the link is actually pinned in the comment section. So if you do want to get involved and you want to give your thoughts, feel free to jump in and we'll get you in and get your thoughts on as well. But you know what? I think we definitely do need a striker. Yeah, I understand that the market is limited, but I still see a Mitrovic there available. If you really want to be ambitious, you can go and look at an Ollie Watkins. Will Villa sell him? That's another question, but everyone's got a price. I
That's
think
true.
some Evan Ferguson from Brighton, I think he would fit the profile. He's young, he fits the system, he's big. We've seen last season he could cope with the Premier League as well. There's a few options out there. We've seen Arsenal had a bid rejected for Ansu Fati, so I think we are looking to kind of strengthen on the wings. And I agree. I think we definitely need another midfielder. I think we need somebody a little bit young. I think Lavia would have probably been perfect to come in and be an understudy to Thomas Partey. We don't want to end up being in the same position as a Liverpool over the last couple of years where the midfield was aging and they didn't really have players to just step in and kind of take their place. I think we do need that. You've got to think El Nene's cracking on, Jorginho's cracking on, Thomas Partey's cracking on. So we do definitely need a little bit more squad depth in them areas. One thing that is kind of concerning now is, I don't know if you've realised, and I want your guys' thoughts on this as well. Kieran
Mhm.
Tierney was not in the squad today,
That
which kind of
worries me a bit. That worries me a
yeah,
bit.
indicates to me that he's going to be potentially leaving the club. And now with Timber's injury, we don't actually know what's gone on. We don't know how serious it is. Could this be a
That's the
potential,
concern there.
few months out or whatnot? I don't know. What do you reckon? Do you reckon Kieran Tierney's gone?
I hope Tierney's not going personally because it's a tough one for me to call because even though Tierney's not like this inverted left back, I feel like he's a very good player. He's not a bad player at all. It's just unfortunately Arteta feels that he doesn't suit his style. But however, now with Timber's injury, potentially could be out for, I don't know, it could be a few weeks or a few months. We cannot afford to sell Tierney. If we sell
Mm.
Tierney, I mean, we've got Shevchenko there and Timber there. I don't know. I think we should keep him, to be honest with you, just to add more cover, if I'm honest. Despite him not suiting to Arteta's style, we need him to stay for me because we need more depth and quality. It's as simple as that, really. And in terms of like what we can do this season, I think FA Cup, we should be in the semi-finals minimum. Carabao Cup, semi-finals minimum. Champions League, quarter-finals minimum. In terms of the Premier League, I expect us to challenge Manchester City again. I think Manchester City know deep down that Arsenal are there to stay. We're not going away. We're not going away. And as you said, Premzy, we do need to be a little bit more ruthless going
Yeah.
forward. Put these teams to the sword.
Mm. No, 100%, definitely. Rich says gutted if we lose Tierney, but I can understand him wanting to leave. And you know what? I can understand him wanting to leave. The one thing I do know, obviously, I know somebody close to Tierney, and he knows the fans love him here. So if he was to leave it, he wouldn't be leaving with a sour heart or anything like that. I think he's just one of them players that wants to play football, and he's not Arteta's man. Arteta didn't bring him in. You've seen him use him here and there when he's brought in his players that he likes. We've seen Tommy Yasu ahead of him. It's kind of snide, but in my
Even
opinion,
Kivio's ahead of him as well.
he's one of the
Even
best.
Kivio's ahead of him.
He's one of the best defenders in the team, in my opinion. That's how I see it. And Zinchenko's got loads of fucking injury problems, and he's got loads of mistakes in him at the back. And like you said, Kivior is being put ahead of him. Kivior, what does he give you going forward? Absolutely nothing. People complain that Kieran Tierney might not give us so much going forward, but I tell you, somebody gives us a lot more than Kivior.
But he's very good defensively. He's very good defensively. You can't lose that quality. You can't lose that quality. If I was Arteta, I'd keep Tierney. Because
No.
even though he does not suit his style, but he's a valuable player in our squad. And as you said, Premzy, he's very solid. He's very good going forward. Don't get me wrong, he's very good defensively as well. You got to have that balance to the game. And in terms of this season, I think it's probably going to be, I would say, a two-horse race between City and Arsenal again, if I'm honest.
I don't know, bro. I think people are sleeping on Liverpool too much, and I think Liverpool
I
are going
think
to be up there.
Liverpool will improve. I think Liverpool will improve. If they had Casido, my word, the midfield would have been very good.
Mm.
But I don't think I should rule Liverpool out entirely because the
Mm.
midfield has improved. I think
Yeah.
Casido will end up at Chelsea. Been hearing rumours
Yeah.
at Latvia. He's linked with Chelsea and probably Liverpool to a certain degree. I feel like I expect. If I had to put my money on who will win the league at this moment in time, I'd probably say City. Only just simply because experience is there, but depth is there. It's as simple as that. But things can change from now to the end of a transfer window. So my
Mm.
mind could probably change by September. My mind could be changing in 5 seconds, probably. But at this
Mm.
moment in time, I'm still edging towards City because of
Yeah.
what we've done.
I think City will win it. In my predictions, originally I had Liverpool second, Arsenal third, then I changed it to Arsenal second, just because I think that little the boy inside me, as they say, was just screaming out for Arsenal to be as high as possible. But I think sometimes we've got to look at it a little bit realistic because we're going to have 2 games a week. We're going to have very difficult games as well. We're going to be in the Champions League. It's not going to be at the level of the Europa League, and we've got to have to field out 2 strong teams. Yes, we have definitely improved squad depth. I do agree with that. But the moment you start letting go of Kieran Tierney and certain other players, and maybe Timber now out injured, Gabriel's getting dropped to the bench, these kind of decisions are a bit mad. I think Raya coming in will help us. It'll give Ramsdale that
Yeah,
push
I
that he
forgot about
needs.
that as well. Oh yeah,
He'll
I think Raya will certainly will prove to be serious competition for Ramsdale, and Ramsdale knows deep down he cannot afford to slip up. He cannot afford to mess about because if he slips up, Premzy, Raya's in.
mm,
Raya's in. Like Raya is Premier League proven, very good goalkeeper. His distribution as well, brilliant. He's a brilliant goalkeeper. I think Raya will probably give Ramsdale, who will keep Ramsdale on his toes.
mm,
This will work ultimately. We need quality all over in every position and depth count as well.
mm,
So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a great signing for us to
mm.
get him on loan for 3 million. £3 million on loan. That's smart. That's mad.
Do you
That's
know,
mad. I'm
for
shocked.
for me, Wilson, I think the most vital thing is to get a different profile of striker. I keep banging on about it, somebody Giroud-esque, and that's not me throwing shade on Eddie's performance today because I thought Eddie did tremendously well. You know, Gabriel Jesus, he's the mainstay in our team. When he comes in, everything ticks, and we see. I'm not saying change the style of play. I'm not saying drop one of them to the bench on the bench, but we need somebody to come off the bench who, when we got the ball in wide areas, we could put the ball into the box. And I know seven, 8 times out of 10, he's going to be up there competing, challenging, put his head on the ball. Do you know what I mean? Getting fouls, winning penalties. Because one thing about Giroud as well, when he was here, he wasn't only that kind of player, but he could really connect up with a lot of the players around him. We've seen the goals that he was involved in with Jack Wilshere, the way him and Santi used to link up.
Oh,
He went
great.
over to Chelsea and look at the kind of career he had. And so there's no reason people thinking, oh, we got a big striker, he's not going to be mobile. This is down to the club and the scouts to go and find that person. But I think a lot of Arsenal fans sit here and we can see from a distance that that's something the team's missing because we're very predictable at times. You get me? I
Mm.
understand there's a lot of interchanging within the players, which can obviously throw defenders off and stuff, and it does, and it has been working for us over the last year or so. But there's going to be times where we're coming up against the likes of a City or a United away, and is not going for us. We're finding it hard to break them down, and we need a different
Or
kind of
Everton as
profile.
well. Or Everton as well, because they're
Mm,
quite physical as well. And I do agree with you, Premzy, there, because what if if plan A doesn't work, you need a
mm,
plan B. You need a
mm,
plan B or quality striker who can come off the bench or start who will make that difference. We're still lacking that a little bit there. When
mm,
Giroud was there at the time, oh my word, like he's physical, his link up play was good, and he scored headers in the
mm.
box. And I
Yeah.
agree with you, Premsley, because we need a different presence there, striker-wise,
Mm.
just to make that
So
difference to the team.
social joins brings up a good point there. Isaac Mould, player like Isaac, we was linked to him for a little bit. I think
Oh,
he's somebody perfect, and I think he's going to thrive this season as well. I put him in my fantasy football team as well, but it is one of them again. People as well. Premier League Unpacked League is there. The code is on my Instagram at the moment. I need to check if it's gone off or not, but it should be still on my Instagram on my story. So make sure you go over there, check me out on Instagram as well, and go and join the Premier League Unpack League. There will be a prize for the winner at the end as well. And it's just a little bit of fun, everyone to get involved. I think there's about 30, 35 teams in there already. And I'm not doing too clever. I know it's I know it's the first week, but I'm not doing too clever. Just want to get your thoughts on Ben White's positioning at centre back. Do you think he adapted well playing back at centre back because he's not played there for a while?
I think Ben White, I have to say, his performance overall, I felt he was good. He was good. I don't think he struggled at all because he has played centre back before. I know last season he was at right back, which he was immense on for majority of last season. But in terms of centre back, I felt it was good. He was good, composed, knew what he was doing. I know in the last 20 minutes, I felt it was a bit shaky for everybody, obviously, because of what happened. But
Mm.
overall, I felt Ben White had a very good game. Very good game. Very good game.
What about Tomiyasu when Tomiyasu come in? How do you
Um,
think he's done? Because he's playing at left back now. We've seen him a few times at left back.
mm,
Predominantly, he gets deployed at right back for us, or every now and again a right centre back. But we've seen against Liverpool last season, he was playing as a left back. Do you reckon he can, if Tierney does go and say Zinchenko's out injured and Timber's out injured, he can fill in as a left back full time?
Bit of a tough one there. I mean, to be fair, I mean, left back wise, I think he can play there. He played there against Liverpool. Like, was it like a season before that? One time he played well against them. So imagine if we had all of those other left backs injured. I would. I don't think we've got any other choice but to put Tomiyasu there because
But
he's very
we have
good.
seen Kivior play there.
Yeah, I mean, Kivior's another option, but if I had to pick which one I would prefer to play in, I'll go for Tomiyasu. I'll go for Tomiyasu because, particularly on his 1v1 battles, I feel like he's better in these 1v1 battles than Kivior, to be honest with you. I mean, that's where I stand anyway. When Tomiyasu was playing at right back quite a while back, again, his 1v1 battles were very good. He very rarely lost those battles. So we might need that from him on the left hand side as well as on the right.
To be fair, I think he's better suited on the right hand side than he is on the left. And also, you got to think Tomiyasu most of his times played his career at centre back, and he hasn't really kind of had that option there. But Social Join says that he sees Tommy as a bit erratic. I like Tomiyasu as a player. I'm not going to lie. I do like him. I think he's got a lot of hard work ethic. He comes in, he does a job. He's big, he's tall, he's strong, and he likes to get himself forward as well at times. So I do like Tomiyasu. I think he's just been hampered with a lot of injuries, which has been unfortunate for him, and he hasn't really had a steady run to maybe gather his best form together. We're going to have to wait and see. But one thing here, Mikel Arteta this season, Wilson, because we are going to wrap it up shortly. Mikel Arteta this season, if he does not win a major trophy, where do you stand on him?
Oh God. Oh God. Oh, I have to be ruthless here. If he does not win any trophy at all, I feel like there should be massive questions, not only about him and the team, but probably Edu and the board as well. That's where it lies, in my opinion, because the team we've got, the money we spent so far, surely we're good enough to win. Surely we're good enough to win a trophy and to push City even more all the way and to potentially win it. There's no excuses, Premzy. There's no
But
excuses
would you
for it.
have to put the pressure not solely just on Mikel Arteta, because his main targets he's wanted, you got to give Edu and the board credit.
Yeah.
They've gone out there and they've got them. They can't obviously give instructions on the sidelines. They can't
No,
pick
they
the
can't.
team.
No, they can't. I think it's not only on Arteta, but it's the team as well. It's the team as well. It's a two-way street because the manager's got to do his part, but the team on the pitch need to do their part as well. Arteta can do, he can provide the instructions, blah blah blah, on the touchline and in the dressing room, but the team have got to do their part as well. That's where the blame lies, the players and the manager. It would be
Yeah,
unfair to just pin the blame on one person when there's another component to that as well. I think if we do not win a trophy, any trophy at all this season, for me, it lies on the manager and the players.
yeah.
It's simple as that, and we would only have ourselves to blame, nobody else. Don't blame the referees or silly decisions, blah blah blah. No, 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 no. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. It's down to the manager and the players. Nobody else.
Guys,
Facts.
in the comments as well, I want to know your thoughts. If we didn't win any of the bigger trophies, or we didn't win any trophy this season, what would you do with Mikel Arteta? Would you want him to stay on and push on, or would you think it's time now to move on from Arteta? He's took us to a certain level. We might need to bring in a experienced manager, somebody who's done it before, and see if they can turn the fortunes of Arsenal winning trophies. Let me get this comment in a context. If he lost the league to City by 1 or 2 points, reached quarterfinal of the UCL and lost to Madrid or Bayern or PSG, and reached to the cup finals and lost, I'll be disappointed. Yeah, I
Oh,
do agree. There has to
because
be context to it. There has to be context to it. Go on, what was you going to say then, bro?
yeah, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. If we lost in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup finals in particular, I'll be fuming. I'll be fuming. You know what I
I
mean?
think we definitely do need to see us now challenging on all fronts. I think we've invested the money. It's close to what 700 million that we've spent in Arteta's reign. Last season, we threw the Carabao Cup away, in my opinion, and also the FA Cup.
Okay.
I want to be seeing us challenge on all fronts because it can become very disappointing. You challenge for the league, you're so close. The last 10 games kick in and you start to get squeaky bum time and you start to fall off. Obviously, people might say the Saliba injury and Tomiyasu and the squad depth might not have been there, which is understandable. But ultimately, when you've been playing so well all season, you got to push on and you got to win the league from that kind of position. I think it is the biggest collapse in Premier League history. So you got to definitely be looking at Arteta this season. And Champions League, for me, I think we might be a bit of a surprise in the Champions League. I know people might think I'm a bit crazy, but I think we'll have a better run in the Champions League than we will in the Premier League because we've been out of it for so long. And when you're out of it, players are hungry to play in it. Arteta's going to be hungry to field his best squad in there and put a lot of effort and passion into it. A lot of the teams that we're going to come up against haven't played Arsenal for a number of years. So it's going to be interesting if they know how to figure us out or not.
They should be scared of us. They should be scared of us. Like some pundits and everybody are so bitter about Arsenal. Do you know why they're doing that, Premzy? Because they're running scared. That's why. And they know in the deepest of their hearts that Arsenal are coming back. This is no fluke. This is no fluke whatsoever. For me, right, in European football entirely, teams should be scared of us because of how good we are. In the Premier League, I'd say the majority of those teams in the Premier League should be scared of us as well because of the team that we've got. We got Rice there now.
We have to show it this season, though, Wilson.
We have to prove it.
We can't be a one-season wonder. At the end of the day, it's only one game gone. Brilliant. We got the 3 points. That's the most important thing. Opening day, we need to just get the points on the board. Performances then can start following. Like you said, I don't think we played horrendously. I'm just disappointed that we didn't kill them off. We didn't step on the neck. We didn't win by 4 or 5 goals, which, to be fair, we've got the quality in our squad to do that. Maybe it could be a rejig of the formation and it's something new for them to kind of get used to because we haven't seen that even in pre-season, that kind of lineup. So maybe that could have had an impact. But moving forward, I expect us to be fucking throttling, man. Obviously, next game.
Absolutely.
What do you reckon in the next game? Do you reckon, obviously, I'm guessing Gabriel's going to come back in, or do you think he's going to try to, this might be his new system, this might be the new way he wants to play?
There will come a time that we will need a settled team. We will need a settled team. There will come a time because in the Premier League, you've got to put your strongest team out. You've got to put your proper team out in certain positions. That's what Arteta will need to do. And also, there's going to be certain opposition teams that will come to the Emirates in the Premier League that will sit back. So I just get the feeling when teams are coming to the Emirates that are sitting back or away but are sitting back, I would say Arteta needs to use like the attacking formation. I would say one central midfielder with Havertz and Odegaard, Roman there. And I would say when it comes to the big teams, put your big teams out. I'd say teams that are attacking us, I would say when teams are attacking us, I would say put Rice and Partey there. But when teams are sitting back and defending, you've got to put some attacking outlets there. I think that's what Arteta should be doing going forward. At the same time, since we're in Champions League this season, in particular in the other cup competitions, there will need to be some rotation round as well.
No, I definitely agree. I think that one of the main key components, though, that we need to definitely be looking at is kind of emulating our away form from last season because we were one of the best teams away from home. Also, we took a lot of points off the big teams, and that's something we have to carry into this season. If we go away from home, because we got Crystal Palace away next, and we know what Crystal Palace away, but we know sometimes Crystal Palace away, it could be a very tricky game, tight pitch. Obviously, they've lost the likes of Zaha, which for me, I'm glad about because he ends up causing us problems all the time. But we should definitely be beating these kind of teams. But it's now home form needs to be immaculate, and away form it needs to be close to immaculate if we want to win this league. We've seen you got to more or less hit 100 points to win this. Well, what 95, 96 points to win this league. you know what I'm saying? Man City have just took it to
Yeah,
a different level, and it doesn't look like they're stopping anytime soon. They've
but
recruited
they're
well.
not. They're not.
Yeah.
And I think people have been saying this to me several times. We virtually need to be perfect. We virtually need to be perfect against Manchester City in particular, because we both know how good City are. We both know how good their manager is. Don't worry
Mm,
about City. We've got ourselves to worry about. And all Arsenal need to do is just keep going, and also just be more ruthless, man. Be more
mm,
ruthless, man, when it comes to facing these small teams. That's the only thing we need to do. Just be ruthless. Because
same.
today, of all days, even though it's our first game, it could have been at least minimum 3 or 4. Minimum. Like in the second half, we had chances. Put these teams to the sword, man, and be ruthless. That's what we need to be going forward. And as you said, Premzy, we do have our quality going. We do have the team who are capable of scoring at least 3 or more goals, but we got to be more ruthless, in my opinion.
100%. But Wilson, thank you very much for coming on again. At the end of every game, I'm going to be doing live match reactions. I'm going to start obviously doing a lot more work from home as well this season, trying to build on the YouTube channel because it's become a bit crazy with the whole new ticket system and getting new tickets and stuff for the
Oh,
game.
this
Obviously, I'm not a season ticket holder. I've just been over the years. I just pay extortionate prices and go. But obviously, I've got a few things happening in my personal life at the moment, which is stopping me from traveling all the time now. So I am going to try to invest a little bit more time inside my YouTube channel. So people as well, make sure that you do what have your say, what give your opinion. Make sure you do jump in. Don't feel shy. Get me? If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to show your face. You could give your opinion. Just more feel free to come in, just like Wilson has done. Any last words before you go?
Well, the only thing I want to say is about Tottenham. Harry Kane's gone. They'll always be in the mud. That put the smile on my face.
Oh, sorry, bro. I slipped you by accident.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
no
Like I
worries.
said, is go on.
Oh, no worries. I was just saying that Tottenham, I gotta say, they're in the mud. They're a shambles right now.
Yeah,
and,
it's
and,
a
with,
mad thing.
and with, it's just a great feeling to be an Arsenal fan right now. That's all I could say.
No, 100. But listen, Wilson, hopefully we'll see you on the next live match reaction. Come in, give your say. You've come on a few times now onto the channel, so make sure you don't stop. And like I said, I'll try to get everyone through. When there's a few more people in, it might be a little bit of a shorter period of time for everyone. But yo, big up yourself. Peace out, and I'll see you next time. Yeah. Yes, people. Big up Wilson in the cut. Honestly, he's got good opinions. He says it as it is. And yeah, that's the whole point of having a football channel is to hear different people's opinions. I want to start interacting a lot with my subscribers. Again, I want to build a foundation here and I want to build just good, proper people, no rude fuckers, people that give good comments in. You get me? Want to get involved in the channel and loyal. Make sure you turn your notifications on as well because a lot of people don't have the notifications turned on. So anytime a video comes out, you're not really aware if it's live or that we're streaming. So make sure you keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Respect to your guest, intelligent brother. You know what, bro? Like I said, he's been on a few times and he's very good. He's got a lot of insight to the Arsenal, and that's what we like to see. Never been so excited about a season P. We are wearing a kit to inspire the boys, the Invincibles. They will do the legends proud this time round. You fucking better hope so, mate. I'm telling you now, because the way things are going right about now, in the sense of Timber's injury, Gabriel being dropped to the bench. I'm getting a little bit confused of what's going to happen moving forward in the season. And like I keep touching on, the pressure is real, people. The pressure is real. But most important thing, we've got the 3 fucking points. They're in the bag, and that's it. We're going to be now looking towards Crystal Palace. Hopefully, we could do the same and go and get the 3 points there. As long as we win our games and don't concede silly fucking goals, happy days. You get me? The football will flow. The chemistry will only improve in this team. Rice will settle in, and we've seen Rice today. Big up to Rice. He's had a few cracks at goal, a few of them close, one of them on target. At least he is now starting to be a little bit more progressive, and we've seen him getting into them attacking areas, people. But I'm going to be going now, so make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. Come on, you Gunners, let's fucking have it. Peace and love. See you next week.